morning to all the dignitaries who are present in the hall for this very important function. It's a bridge program organized by ICT and especially for Northeast states. So normally this is a different that he was a guru, some video we have seen, and I am a teacher, so I carry these notes with me. Yeah, it was rightly pointed out that learn to respond. I think this could be the theme of the today's program. I'm talking about both the stakeholders. On one side we have academia, and other side it is an industry. So learn to respond. Unless we learn that skill, probably this is not going to happen. I've been in teaching profession for something like 35 years. In the same state where Chairman ICT served, I was also his colleague there as a principal of one of the institutions. And we know that in education system, for any kind of education, there are two important stakeholders. There are many, but important two stakeholders. Particularly engineering education or technical education if we are referring to, these two important stakeholders are the students and the industry. When they are stakeholders, naturally we have to respond to their requirements. We have to ask them and try to find out the solution. I'm talking about education system at an institute or an university. Try to find out the solution to their requirements. And therefore, question comes, do we do that? Are we really taking care of the students? What are their requirements? Are we evaluating these skills at the entry level as to what they need, what they are capable of? We have a specific curriculum. Recently, ICT has come with model curriculum, and we try to implement that. So frankly speaking, we don't respond to the requirements of the students as well as the industry. When we talk about why not responding to the requirements of the students, we go on blaming that the students who are there not taking admission in technical education are not having skills. Then if they are not having skill, then what for our education institution is there? As a teaching or as a teacher, it becomes my first and foremost responsibility. My students are very poor in mathematics, physics, and so on and so forth. And they don't carry those skills which we expect. If they don't carry those skills, naturally we are supposed to provide those skills. And that's why ICT curriculum has come with some kind of model on that. That let us have some finishing courses, bridge courses at the entry level itself in a very first month when they join engineering education. May it be diploma or degree. So therefore the induction program has been recently introduced, which goes minimum for 3 weeks, wherein not only health and all other issues they have to be taken care of, but also basic skills which they need as far as the mathematics and physics and these subjects are concerned. So this is one part, the students, we are not at all responding to their requirements and their needs. The second part is industry. There have been a lot of discussion on employability and the skills which industry expects from the students coming out of diploma degree in colleges. And then reasons are also identified. When we ask our teachers, we ask any educational institute, they blame again industry. that industry do not respond. There is a great occasion here that industry here, they have come forward. And that has been happening from Chennai, Tamil Nadu since long. Industry-institute interaction is not new thing for us. Since last 35 years, we have been talking about industry-institute interaction. Moment we started privatization and globalization of engineering education, many colleges were started, established. Private partners also came into the technical education. And therefore, input or intake, what we call it as, has gone like anything. And since then, we have been talking about this industry-institute interaction. So what is the status of all those efforts which we have been taking? Still our employability is not crossing something like 40% mark. So what we say, and whatever they are crossing 40% mark, the stakeholder, major stakeholder industry is not still happy that they don't come with the skills what we want. Yes, the objective of education is to make a human being. In other words, what we say that we make students learn to live. And when we talk about engineering education, this living is nothing but earning money, bread and butter. We have been talking about entrepreneurial skills and so on and so forth. How many students who are passing out, what percentage of those students are starting their own industry? They are not. Recently we started startup, AICT particularly. This is an AICT initiative. Startup, innovation and so many things are happening. But then it is not being taken care of by the institutions properly, in a true spirit. And that's what? Learn to respond. So action, reaction and proactive approach. Something is needed and good interpretation of any scheme is necessary. Friends, particularly from educational institutions, we work on KSB model. That is a knowledge, skills and behavior. This is what the education is. This knowledge word has been now replaced. We normally misinterpret this knowledge word. When we talk about knowledge, whenever we talk about knowledge, we think about only information. The students are not expecting any information from educational institutions in the classroom or laboratory. Because nowadays all the information is available on internet, on the tip of the finger. They don't need. What they need is concepts. They need concepts. And then how to apply those concepts. Many things have been talked about. Machine learning, Internet of Things, cloud computing, artificial intelligence. Our students are aware about the applications of all this. May he be from civil engineering or mechanical engineering, still they are aware about. What extent our teachers are aware about. See the two sides. And that's why we say learn to respond. Try to understand your input and accordingly adopt your process. That's what we call as a learning teaching process. And then transform that input into the expected output as per the requirements of industry. And that is the objective of engineering education. We should understand this first. And then it comes to the curriculum. That the industry says that your curriculum is not proper. It is not taking care of any advancement in the technology. It has to be modified. If at all you talk about, it has to be revised very often. May it be, 6 monthly. Biannual basis we have to go on, and then we blame that, where is the learning material? Why do you need learning material? Learning material is available on the... And probably if you ask your students to come prepared, they will come prepared and they will tell you where is the learning material and what is that learning material on all these aspects. I am a mechanical engineer. If you ask me what are the machine learning applications in mechanical engineering, hardly one or two I will be able to count. And so is the case with all those teachers who are teaching here, sitting here, and also those who are teaching. And then we talk about, we are not getting proper input to recruit as an assistant professor or whatnot. And when I am not getting selected as a professor or associate professor, I blame recruitment process. So what extent I am ready to be appointed as? And that's why I learned to respond. A very great phrase he has used in an initial first video. I joined late. So learn to respond is very important, my dear friends. I am basically implementing this TechU project. And I learned that many participants are sitting here from those institutions. TechU is Technical Education Quality Improvement Program. This is MHRD unit, and I belong to this National Project Implementation Unit. We have state project implementation units. One of the SPIs is in Guwahati. So what are the objectives? Two important objectives of the project. This project is being implemented since 2002. So last 15-16 years. Of course, the institutions whom we are catering to, they change every year. This time, we started the third phase of this project in 2017, and we considered focus state institutions. And this particular region, Northeast, all 7-8 states, they are part of that project. So what is the objective? What two important objectives of this project? The first one is employability and second one is equity. And I think both the objectives, this particular program is very much, a great solution for achieving both the objectives. Now, as far as this employability is concerned, since 2002 we are talking about employability. And if you go back to the history of this project, you would find so many interventions have been introduced in this project. And this time we are having hand-holding also. Yes, those particular states may be below, lower part of our country, maybe south and then some part of western India. We assume that they are developed. And we have requested those institutions, those states to handhold these institutions who are in focus states, including this Northeast. And that is happening. But then what extent we have been able to, are we working really for achieving these two objectives? Equity is a part of that, because that's why we consider these focus states. We thought that yes, it is little imbalanced. So let us balance it. Not by pulling these institutions down. We are also promoting same concept there, but also basically lifting up this particular area, employability. And through this employability, we have introduced so many interventions. And two basic we are conducting employability tests of all the states, all the students. Those who are participating, not participating. Everybody's employability is being tested every year, and we are just observing the trend, how it is going up, which institution, which particular area, which particular state is lagging. Let us try to bring the equity there. And for that purpose, we have introduced so many interventions. Now, the two important interventions you would also laugh, particularly industry people will laugh at me. Two important interventions we have introduced is a GATE training, GATE coaching. Now, what is GATE examination? Probably those who are engineers, they know that. GATE examination is based on those subjects which I have studied in first year, second year and third year. If I have studied those 3 subjects, 3 years, all those subjects which are a part of curriculum, why do I need extra coaching? No problem. That means the way the delivery should happen, the way training should have happened, teaching should have happened, that has not happened. The way learning should have happened, that has not happened. There are many reasons why it is not happening. But one of the reasons is the delivery system, for which teachers are responsible. So in other words, Considering myself as one of the teachers, I say today's employability and today's all these concerns, only one person and one particular component in the society should be blamed, and that is the teacher. And that's why if we refer national policy, the draft policy on education, it is basically talking about pedagogy. I am very happy to note today, and also last time we had some interaction with ICT, that ICT is working on pedagogy. The numbers, statistics which I have seen here, that's a great work, and they are working for the country for improving the delivery system in the teachers by adopting these different pedagogy systems. See, whatever learning is happening as of now is a passive learning, passive teaching. We wanted to convert. See, the days have gone. We have to change. Again, same thing from video clip. But yes, we have to change. Days have gone, and the past is now over. When it was just one way. Actually, it was not. But we interpret it. Now it has to be both ways. And that is why this passive learning has to be converted into active learning. And when we announced last year, 17-18 academic year, a program training program for the teachers on active learning, everybody started laughing. Senior person like me, because I have such and such experience, huge amount of say 30-35 years of experience. Why do I need training basically? And then that too, what is this active learning? We have been doing very great. Our results, examination results, examination is another part which is to be blamed. Examination system. We have been teaching, our results are very fine. What about the employment? What about the employability? So that has to be taken care of. So therefore we started this GATE coaching. What for? Just again revising the concepts. And when we started and announced this program that you have to go for this GATE training, teachers started blaming me. Why do you need this? I straightway answered their queries that because you have not done whatever you have not done last 3 years, that it is to be done now today. You do it by yourself or ask somebody to come inside, because for doing anything naturally you require fund, and I am a funding agency, and that's why probably majority of them they listen to my request or instructions or whatever you call it. This is one part. The second part which we started is the employability skill training. Now what is this employability skill training? Why at all we need that? We specifically considered 5-6 components, important components. And one of the components was communication. Second one was team working. Now communication is to be improved. Who should have improved? We teachers. Probably we failed in communicating. We failed in inculcating those skills. Team working, who should have done that? That has not happened because of which we have started that scheme. Again, same problem. Sir, 300 hours for GATE and then 200 hours for employability in 1 year or say 6 months. How it is possible? What will happen to our curriculum? So on and so forth. The other thing is autonomy. Autonomy has been given to the institutions. What are they doing? Many industries and alumni, they say that, sir, we require machine learning subject in civil engineering. My teachers from civil engineering started laughing. Why do we need that? It was never a part of that. What conceptual knowledge and information and this and that? Because my teachers are not aware what is the important. So my friends, I think day has come. Recently we have started digital pedagogy. What we said, I think it's a point which is being discussed in ministry, new government even last year and year before, that every school classrooms need to have that particular digital board. We started digital and trainings also. Now we stopped targeting senior professors and senior faculty. We started targeting young faculty who probably are aware about what is the requirement and probably can adopt as early as possible. We have announced a scheme. Something like 3,000 digital boards will be provided in something like 100 institutions. So 30 digital boards, and they are to be fitted in the classroom. My young senior teachers, senior friends started again blaming me. How can we replace the chalk and duster by a digital board? They are true. But I said, who said you are going to replace the blackboard by this digital media? See, your students have already seen. They want some facilitator to extend those particular areas where they have not understood. You start some video, you start some, download it from so many SWAYAM and NPTEL and everything that is happening. Even applications on machine learning, a small application. My students are not aware about, forget about teachers. So friends, it's enough to blame teaching community myself. Let us come to the industry as well. Yes, there are some problems. There are some issues that we started internship as well. And when our institutions approach industry, majority of them they say, no, we don't have time, we have target, March end targets and June end targets and quarterly targets and this and that. You know our intake, huge intake. Something like 10,000 students taking admission every year. 10 lakh students. And then how to accommodate these? ICT started for right from first year. Okay, first year, second year we can manage somewhere. But what about third year students? So my appeal and request to all the industry friends, and that's a great thing that I think ICT can reach. I was talking to my counterpart here in SPIU Northeast, that can we have tie-up with ICT as far as financial aspect, because the boss has spoken something on that also. They are concerned, please come to Delhi, we will have discussion, we will get approval from Government of India as well, and then let us start doing something for this. First of all, a training component, training part, and the second part through our industry partners, some placement. I hope I have not taken much time. Thank you very much. Thank you all.